So let's spend some time talking about the East Boston market where our office is here. Man, what an interesting time to be a buyer or a seller in the East Boston market. You know, for a long period of time, I've been talking with a lot of agents and a lot of sellers regarding what I'll call the shadow inventory that exists in the East Boston market. This is all of the developments that are going on in progress, all of the permits and all the certificate of occupancies being done. A lot of the time, these buildings that are sometimes, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, 40 unit buildings, it doesn't matter. They never put all of the inventory on the market. So usually there's 1, 2, or 3 different units listed. They're usually different layouts or different price points. And usually when you have an inquiry on those properties, you can go ahead and show the rest of the building from that. It allows us as realtors to keep the listing as fresh as possible, keep the days on market as low as possible, all while still showing and selling and pre-selling some of the times these units. So sometimes when you see 40 units on the market, the reality is there could be, 80, 90, 200 units on the market because of all of the development that's been happening in and around the area. So when we have a high amount of condo inventory, like we have had the last 6, 7, 8, 9 months, usually what happens is we have little inventory in January, February, March. Usually that inventory starts to dip. It then resurges as we go into the summer months. Once we're in the summer months, inventory really starts to climb. We see a little bit of a dip August and September, and then it really just ramps all the way through up the holidays. And then whether it's around Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, or one of the important December holidays, we see inventory all get pulled off the market, and then we're into the low point in the next new year like we are right now. So when we have all this inventory ramping up and building on the market, the reality is prices come down because buyer demand is low. It is simply just a supply and demand market. And I just had a client close on a unit in Eastie. It's a 2022, 2023 new construction unit. So this is, what we'll call some used inventory. The seller had paid $600,000 for it. It had been on the market for over 400 days with 2 different brokers, 3 different times, even a for sale by owner listing. And our client just closed on it to end 2025 for $525,000, a $75,000 loss, over a 15% loss versus when these folks bought it just 2 years ago. So there's a lot of unrealized losses in these stale listings that are existing on the market because they have simply just not traded yet. And we have a ton of listings as well for clients where we're trying to trade that used inventory. But the reality is the consumer also has the opportunity to purchase new inventory. And when the new car costs just as much as the used car, most people are going to pick the new car. Okay, so East Boston's definitely a little bit of a turbulent market, and that definitely saturates the rest of the surrounding market like Chelsea, Revere, Winthrop, because when you can get a deal in the city and you're thinking about buying a condo, why would you come to some of the satellite areas unless you really wanted significantly more space? But when the price is still good, a lot of times people are still choosing the city. When we look at some of the sales prices on average over the last 5 years in East Boston, specific to condos, which is a predominant market there, we have seen prices from 2021 go from around 700,000 down to 642. Stay at 637, so basically flat. 2024, we saw a big uptick again to 692, and then the average price back down to 672. So this thing has just been kind of basically flat, okay, for the last 5 years. We've seen ups and downs, but if you want to go take the snapshot simply from 2021, one of the hottest years in real estate in the Boston market with some of the most trades at 692 average sale price. Now us ending at 691. I mean, there's $1,000 difference between that in 2024, and now we're just back down a little bit. So the reality is, we'll call it a flat market, down 4% in 5 years, down pretty substantially versus last year. There's still a ton of unrealized losses. This East Boston condo market is just simply flat. So if you are a seller in East Boston and you bought a condo 3, 4, 5 years ago, and now you're running out of space, you're having kids, you're tired of not having parking on Eagle Hill, whatever it is, the reality is what you paid for your unit is likely just simply what it's worth. That's what the data is telling us. And with new inventory out there, there's just simply not a lot of opportunity to sell your used product for the same price as a new product. Okay, so just a quick market update when it comes to the East Boston market. If you have any questions, comment below market, and we'll hit you with some facts.